So many of you have asked me to do this lesson, so let's finally learn why it had rained is bad and it had been raining is good. Are you ready? Hi, I'm Greg, and this channel helps you speak advanced English more clearly and understand native speakers more easily. Now, today's lesson comes with a free worksheet that I've made for you. You can download that in the description, and that will give you a summary of today's class, more examples of the grammar structures we're going to look at today, plus a test so that you can practice using this advanced grammar. And it comes with the answers too. So make sure you download that after watching the lesson. Now, in one of my most popular videos, we looked at the difference between the past perfect continuous, like it had been raining, and the past continuous, like it was raining. And in that lesson, I used the example of me leaving the house and the weather being rainy. So it was raining means that when I opened the door and left the house, rain was falling from the sky. But it had been raining when I left the house. That's the past perfect continuous, and we use that when the action of it's raining started and finished before I opened the door and left the house. When I opened the door, the ground was wet. Why was the ground wet? Because it had been raining. So when do we use the past perfect simple? It had rained. And how is that different to it had been raining? Well, here's the thing. It had rained, that is known as the past perfect simple tense. It had been raining is known as the past perfect continuous tense. In other words, one is a continuous tense and the other is not. You see, the past, present, and future all have continuous forms, like I was talking, I am talking, I will be talking. We use those to talk about continuous actions. However, the simple tenses, like I talked, I talk, I will talk, generally speaking, we use those to talk about things that happen all the time as a general fact, or BAM actions, and interrupt a continuous action. For example, the sun was shining, the birds were singing, everyone was smiling, and I said to myself, what a beautiful day. Or I was cooking and the children were playing when BAM! I heard a noise. So in these examples, sun shining, birds singing, everyone smiling, me cooking, children playing, these are all continuous actions. But BAM! I heard a loud noise, and BAM! I said to myself, these are BAM actions that simply happen quickly and interrupt the continuous action. It was raining when I left the house. Continuous action that's interrupted with a BAM action, or it had been raining when I left the house. Again, a continuous action that both started and stopped before I opened the door and left the house. So, can we say it had rained to talk about a continuous action like rain? Well, actually, yes, we can. It's not incorrect, it's less common, but we do use it in one particular situation. So have a look at these examples. It had rained earlier that night. Girls were slipping and falling. That is from the New Yorker. It had rained before the race and citation went off on a sloppy track. That's from the Encyclopedia Britannica. And finally, because it had rained late in the afternoon, the museum moved the concert indoors. That's from the New York Times. So, what do these three examples all have in common? Well, they all specify a time in the past. Earlier that night, before the race, late in the afternoon. When we specify a time in the past, like yesterday, last week, last month, last year, yesterday afternoon, and when we do that, we can use the past simple tense, like yesterday I went to the dentist, or the past perfect simple tense, like I met my wife after I had been to the dentist. So can we say it had rained when I left the house? No, we can't, because we're not specifying a time in the past when it rained. However, we can say it had rained earlier that day, so when I left the house, I took an umbrella. Why? Because the rain started and stopped before the BAM action happened. I left the house, and I'm specifying a time period in the past when that happened. Simple. So download the worksheet for more examples and more exercises for you to practice this tense. The link is in the description. And if you want to learn more about the past perfect continuous tense and the past continuous tense, like it had been raining and it was raining, watch that video next. And if you want to learn more about the present perfect and present perfect continuous, like I have lived or I have been living, watch that video next. Thanks for watching, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.